Here's our virtual expectations we view at the beginning of each class. You all do an amazing job with these, so I am going to move on to our results from last week. So here are the final results for our favorite Disney/Pixar character. In first place, we have Lightning McQueen, by far, hands down, the favorite. And then Stitch was in second. And then in third place, we have Remy. And for those of you who put Remy as one of my favorites that I put in there, you are correct. It was Remy, Figment, and Orange Bird. And so if you need a little refresher on what those look like, I'll just quickly show you quick. So Figment was kind of like that purple dragon looking thing right there. Yeah, I like the yes! Very ecstatic. Orange Bird looks like this. So it's pretty cute. Okay, so that was for our favorite regular character, and now we're gonna move on to the villain. So what I did is I pulled what everyone said from the week 13 Class Connect Padlet, and then I made a new dot storming link, so I will share that in the chat right now. So similar to last week, you're gonna type your name in the top right corner, and then you're going to vote for your top 3, and then you're going to write a comment by one of them. I did not add any of my favorites this time. Maleficent was in there, and I had put her originally, and a lot of other of your classmates had done that too. So yeah, so now this is just the time to vote for your top 3, and then we'll declare a winner next week and write a comment by one of them. Why you think they're going to win, why you have a favorite memory with them, why you like them. So I think I'm going to vote here too today. I'm going to pick Darth Vader for one of mine. Who else is Miss G going to pick this week? I really like Emperor Zurg from Toy Story. So we're going to pick that one. And then I got to find Maleficent. There she is. So those are my 3. So you'll have roughly the next 3 minutes to work on this. And then I put the link back in the chat too. And then I kind of gave the reasoning why Maleficent is my favorite. I said, this is Miss G's favorite villain. I love how Maleficent turns into a dragon and has a prime role at Fantasmic, the late night show at Hollywood Studios in Florida. So it's like this water show that they do at the end of the night. It's really cool. And it just started back up again after COVID. Oh, so we got another vote for Darth Vader here. A lot of Ursula fans and Maleficent. Bruce has a vote too. Scar's been pretty popular. The hyenas from The Lion King. Oh, we have a vote for Lotsa Huggin Bear or Lotso. And Sir Miles Axelrod from the Cars series. Oh, and we also like Chick Hicks and the Pit Stop Crew, Boba Fett, the Joker, the Sanderson sisters. So right now, the Joker is in first place, and he's not even a Disney or a Pixar character, but I added him anyways. Let's see some of the comments. They're cute characters. I like it. I like the late model NASCARs. Oh, speaking of NASCAR, one of the cool things is when I was in Philly, I went down to Dover to meet some of my boyfriend's family for lunch. And they have a racetrack in Dover, Delaware. And I had no idea. So I was driving and I looked to the left and I'm like, that's a big racetrack. It must be NASCAR. And it is used for NASCAR races. So I was like kind of surprised. So did not know they had that in the capital of Delaware. But pretty cool. I just love this movie, so I like all the characters. I like these three because they're weird and funny, and the movie is also nostalgic for me. It's a good answer. Boba Fett is very mysterious. I would agree. And for Sir Miles Axelrod, it was a cool twist at the end. I like Lotso because of his story on why he was the way he was. Ooh, that's also really neat too. Very good point. Oh, and let's go to Bruce. I think Bruce is pretty funny. Okay, that's it for the comments that I see. So if you need to finish up later, I'll just put the link in the chat one more time here. And then we're going to move on. So thank you so much. And we will have our final top three again next week. Okay, so here is our agenda for the day. We did the icebreaker question, and then the next thing we're going to do is an Edpuzzle here today on the Hagia Sophia, and then any questions that you have for me at the end here. So to get to the Edpuzzle, I'm going to open it up right now, but you're going to go to our world history page, and then you are going to scroll down to Miss G's Class Connect recordings and assignments. And then it's going to be in today's folder. And today is December 6th, Tuesday. So you're going to scroll here. And then you'll see the Edpuzzle. And we'll go live here in just a second. Okay, so since I kind of went through that pretty fast, you go to our World History Schoology page, scroll down to the Class Connect live and recordings. And then from there, you'll open the little pink folder that says Miss G's Class Connect recordings and assignments. And then you are going to click on today's date, which is Tuesday, December 6th. And this is the recording and assignment. And then the Edpuzzle. And then once you're all signed in and ready to go, just let me know in the chat or give me like a little thumbs up or a happy face emoji. So I see 5 of us are in so far. So we're looking for roughly 10. So we're a little over halfway there, which is perfect. And you can always join late too if needed. Okay, we're at 7. And then I'll wait 1 more minute and then we will get started. And if you just need to join late too, that's totally fine as well. So we'll start at 10:45. And if you're not able to get into, another thing you can do is follow along, get all the answers, and then watch it on your own later after the class connect. So I will get started since it is 10:45. Okay, when I start, I'm gonna pause it for a second and let me know if the audio, the video is good, and if we should continue on.
They say that if walls could talk, each building would have a story to tell.
Everything good so far? Calvin is showing up good for you. Amelia, perfect. Okay, I'll restart it and we will continue on.
Say that if walls could talk, each building would have a story to tell. But few would tell so many fascinating stories in so many different voices as the Hagia Sophia, or Holy Wisdom.
Okay, so what does the Hagia Sophia mean? Land of treasures, garden of heaven, great ambition, or holy wisdom? So we see right here, the answer is holy wisdom. So it is this one right here.
Perched at the crossroads of continents and cultures, it has seen massive changes from the name of the city where it stands to its own structure and purpose. And today, the elements from each era stand ready to tell their tales to any visitor who will listen. Even before you arrive at the Hagia Sophia, the ancient fortifications hint at the strategic importance of the surrounding city, founded as Byzantium by Greek colonists in 657 BCE. And
Okay, what was the original name of the fortified city? Istanbul, Byzantium, Constantinople, or Rome? And if we need to rewatch it, let me know. But the modern name is Istanbul, and the original name was, if you haven't gotten it yet, it is Constantinople. Wait. Did I lead you astray there? Was it Byzantium? I think we should rewatch
their tales to any visitor who will listen. Even before you arrive at the Hagia Sophia, the ancient fortifications hint at the strategic importance of the surrounding city, founded as Byzantium by Greek colonists in 657 BCE.
If you
And
clicked Constantinople, I will give that to you too, because the city was named as that as well at one point, but it was not the original name. So apologize for that. I will go and fix that for you if you got that one wrong because of me. So we will move on.
and successfully renamed as Augusta Antonia, New Rome, and Constantinople, as it was conquered, reconquered, destroyed, and rebuilt by various Greek, Persian, and Roman rulers over the following centuries. And it was within these walls that the first megala ecclesia, or great church, was built in the 4th century. Though it was soon burned to the ground in riots, it established the location for the region's main religious structure for centuries to come. Near the entrance, the marble stones with reliefs are the last reminders of the second church. Built in 415 CE, it was destroyed during the Nika riots of 532, when angry crowds at a chariot race nearly overthrew the Emperor Justinian I. Having barely managed to retain power, he resolved to rebuild the church on a grander scale, and 5 years later, the edifice you see before you was completed.
Okay, so why was the church almost destroyed in 532 CE? So you would talk about the riots and how it was almost burned to the ground. Well, Justinian the First was the emperor. So I'll rewatch it again so we can listen to that again for the information that I just said a few minutes ago there.
Of 32, when angry crowds at a chariot race nearly overthrew the Emperor Justinian I. Having barely managed to retain power, he resolved to rebuild the church on a grander scale, and 5 years later, the edifice you see before you was complete. completed. As you step inside, the stones of the foundation and walls murmur tales from their homelands of Egypt and Syria, while columns taken from the Temple of Artemis recall a more ancient past. Runic inscriptions carved by the Vikings of the Emperor's elite guard carry the lore of distant northern lands. But your attention is caught by the grand dome representing the heavens, reaching over 50 meters high and over.
Okay, so what does the Grand Dome represent? The Garden of Eden, the heavens, the eternal space, or the underworld? And they had just said for this one that the Grand Dome itself represents the heavens.
Over 30 meters in diameter and ringed by windows around its base, the Golden Dome appears suspended from heaven, light reflecting through its interior. Beneath its grandiose symbolism, the sturdy reinforcing Corinthian columns brought from Lebanon after the original dome was partially destroyed by an earthquake in 558 CE quietly remind you of its fragility and the engineering skill such a marvel requires. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, the mosaics from the next several centuries have the most to say, not only about their biblical themes, but also the Byzantine emperors who commissioned them, often depicted along with Christ. But
The emperors who commissioned these famous mosaic pieces often depicted themselves alongside what famous religious leader? The Buddha, Muhammad, Professor Moody, or Jesus Christ. So this was still during the Byzantium time, so it would be Christianity, so it would be with Jesus Christ.
But beneath their loud and clear voices, one hears the haunting echoes of the damaged and missing mosaics and icons, desecrated and looted during the Latin occupation in the Fourth Crusade. Within the floor, the tomb inscription of Enrico Dandolo, the
So why were some of the mosaics destroyed? Muslims looted the church, Crusaders looted the church, Justinian wanted to replace some but died before it was completed, or the Byzantine Empire ran out of money. So for this one, it happened during the Fourth Crusade, so you could say the Crusaders looted the church. Yep.
The Venetian ruler who commanded the campaign is a stark reminder of those 57 years that Hagia Sophia spent as a Roman Catholic church before returning to its Orthodox roots upon the Byzantine reconquest. But it would not remain a church for long. Weakened by the Crusades, Constantinople fell to the Ottomans in 1453 and would be known as Istanbul thereafter. After allowing
What was the new name of the city in 1453? Byzantium, New Rome, Mecca, or Istanbul? So for the new name for the city, this was when the Ottomans came through. So 1453, that would be Istanbul. So Byzantium is the original name, then it was Constantinople or New Rome, and then eventually when the Ottoman Empire came through was Istanbul. So for the answer for this one, it is Istanbul.
After allowing his soldiers 3 days of pillage, Sultan Mehmet II entered the building. Though heavily damaged, its grandeur was not lost on the young sultan, who immediately rededicated it to Allah, proclaiming that it would be the new imperial mosque. The 4 minarets built over the next century are the most obvious sign of this era, serving as architectural supports in addition to their religious purpose. But there are many others. Ornate candle holders relate Suleiman's conquest of Hungary, while giant calligraphy discs hung from the ceiling remind visitors for the first 4 caliphs who followed Muhammad. Though the building you see today still looks like a mosque, it is now a museum, a decision made in 1935 by Kemal Atatürk, the modernizing first president of Turkey, following the Ottoman Empire's collapse.
So who changed the Hagia Sophia into a museum? Augustus, Constantine, or Ataturk? It is the third one. So he was the first leader of what is now modern day Turkey after the Ottoman Empire had fell.
It was this secularization that allowed for removal of the carpets hiding the marble floor decorations and the plaster covering the Christian mosaics. Ongoing restoration work has allowed the multiplicity of voices in Hagia Sophia's long history to be heard again after centuries of silence. But conflict remains. Hidden mosaics cry out from beneath Islamic calligraphy, valuable pieces of history that cannot be uncovered without destroying others. Meanwhile, calls sound from both Muslim and Christian communities to return the building to its former religious purposes. The story of the divine wisdom may be far from over, but one can only hope that the many voices residing there will be able to tell their part for years to come.
Okay, so this is the last question of the Edpuzzle. So it's an open-ended question that you'll be answering on your own. So do you think today it should be a Christian church, a Muslim mosque, or a museum? And just explain your answer and why you think it should be that. And then when you are done answering this question, We are all done with class today, so you are free to go when you are done, and just make sure you say goodbye before you leave. And then I'm gonna end the recording.